Okay, this is a rough explanation of when a female's body is ready to start her cycle and what is going on. We've got a beautiful brain with a pituitary. That's the pituitary right there. Maybe I shouldn't try and write because you can't read it anyways. And then we have, I always love when people draw a uterus and our little ovaries. Our ovaries out here. Now, here's the crazy thing. Before your body goes through puberty, there's really no connection here. That's not really anything that we need. But there's also not a direct pathway from that pituitary telling the ovaries to start, because the eggs are already there. Remember, we're born with eggs. Oh my gosh, coolest fact of your life. A baby already has the amount of eggs that they would have when they're still in utero. So technically what that means is my little girl, because she was an egg inside of me, was inside of my mom. Are you kidding me? That is so freaking cool. I'll find the research article for you because I just think it's just so mind-blowing how the creator made our body and with such intelligence. But check it out. We all know that when you're going through puberty and your brain's changing and you're like, watching kids grow up, you're like, oh my gosh, what has happened to them? I remember my mom saying when I was growing up, and I hated when she said it too. It's like at the invasion of the body snatchers, because she's just like, one day you'll act like this and the next day she's like, I just don't even know. Like, we don't know what's going on. It's even like our toddlers, when their brain, certain parts of their brain are developing, it just takes time. It takes sleep. It takes good nutrition. But here we go, back to the story. So your pituitary, let's say the body, the young lady's body is ready to start ovulating. I mean, that's literally what having a period is. It's like when you're done, like when you're going through menopause. My favorite explanation of that is not like something's wrong with your body or this or that. It's like your body just literally stopped ovulating. That's all that happened. Well, not all that happened, but seriously, your body stopped ovulating. But what we need is this egg to be dropped through the fallopian tubes. And so the pituitary has to send a signal to the ovary. Well, the first signal that gets sent is like, well, it's gonna go over here. And then the next signal is gonna go over here. Well, then this signal, this one made it. That one made it to the ovary. So the ovary started doing something, okay? Well, then the next one is like, well, it was pretty close, but it didn't quite nail the ovary, didn't tell it what to do. But the point of the story is the more often and the closer the girl does get to starting that cycle and actually menstruating, basically her body creates what was like a dirt road that you could go in all different places. Now we've got like a 5-lane highway, right? So by the time we are in our 20s and then our 30s, our brain knows where those ovaries are. It's just this like smooth pathway. But here's the really unfortunate part. So often when the body is first starting to cycle, so let's say, we're seeing girls now starting their period 9, 10 years old. I personally was 14 and there were several of my friends, we were like 13, 14, like around there. And there's a whole lot to unpack about that, the hormones in our meat, all kinds of stuff, right, to talk about. But what we know is before we get that 5-lane highway, all kinds of things are shifting. Like your mood is shifting, your countenance, your confidence, your body is changing. You get a little bit more fluffy. Some people get like super skinny, and even that they don't feel good about. But the big thing is their brain is changing, or maybe that cycle is not regular. And what happens? The first thing your OB does, because they're concerned about your cycle not being regular, is they put you on a birth control. Now there's lots of different birth controls, okay? Lots of them. But as we're getting this highway going, then the body is sending other signals to make more dopamine here and to make more serotonin here. And when typically, unfortunately, what we see is the body's trying to regulate the period and get started. And then we give the body a birth control, which could be all kinds of different things, even the non-hormonal birth controls. Dude, if it affects your hormones, it doesn't matter if it's a hormone, it's affecting your hormones. And we know that with a hormone picture, it's not just estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Like, there's a breakdown. These things make these things, and these things come from your adrenals, and these things come from your ovaries. Like, it's a symphony. It's a beautiful thing that's happening. But Let's say you take that birth control and it stops that progesterone. It blocks the progesterone receptors, or maybe it blocks the estrogen receptors. Then the body's going to create an excess of estrogen. And then what happens? Your mood starts going up and down. How many of you know hormones affect your mood? And so then unfortunately, because out of concern, because their daughter's like personality is totally changed, or she's depressed, or they're even afraid of things like suicidal thoughts. It is so scary, but then we put an antidepressant on it. So now we've suppressed either the estrogen or the progesterone production. And then we start suppressing the dopamine or serotonin connection. And this poor young lady is a shell of herself, unfortunately. And we know that they're not gonna work the way that our body was designed. And so now we fast forward 5-10 years and she wants to start a family, and we've been messing with her body on a signal level for so long. It's so hard to come out of that. So I feel like this just got really slow and dark on the video, but the reality is we've got tools to support our body. And I'll tell you the number one tool, freebie friend, the number one tool is removing the toxins from your life. Believe it or not, the top two things affecting your hormones are plastics and then all of the things in your body products, okay? Your hair products, your skin products, your makeup. Girls, look at your makeup. You can scan it with an app. There's tons of apps. I like Yucca, and the Environmental Working Group has one. Some people use the Bobbies. What's it called? Bobby is a Bobby Proof. But there's some other ones, and the reality is these things do affect your hormones, whether you think they do or not. To the extent where parabens in all of your Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret lotions, which I don't know if anybody else was like a lover of Love Spell in high school. You know that smell. It's amazing. But those parabens, they stay in your body. You can't sweat them out, poop them out, pee them out. You can't. They stay in your body to the extent where they were extracting tumors from women's breasts. And whether they were benign or cancerous, they were finding the actual parabens in there. Like, these are hormone disrupting chemicals. And so this is just a really big encouragement. Do those two things. Pay attention to what you're eating or drinking out of plastic, especially if it's warm. Girls, take your Starbucks lid off. Better yet, take your own little Yeti or whatever, swig. We're all into the swigs, but take that to Starbucks and fill it up so you're not drinking out of that plastic lid, because these things are affecting. And this is not just a ladies thing too. Plastics and these chemicals are affecting your man too. So if you are thinking of growing your family, making a baby, things like that, it's important that we just get rid of these things, clean things up. So this is Dr. Allison with Freedom Health Center. See you soon.